Well, hello. My name's Jamie and I'm a firefighter. Today I will be coming to your school to do career day, but unfortunately we're all doing distance learning. So you'll be learning about the career of a firefighter right here in my garage. Lucky for you, I've been in the fire service for a while and I've collected quite a few things that I can use to show you what firefighters do in a day-to-day basis and some of the stuff that you have to go through to get into the fire department and make a career out of it. Oh, well, let's first talk about the Fire Academy. That's where it all begins. You put your application in, you go through the training, the testing process, and you finally get picked to join the fire department. But that's just the beginning. Next, you have to go through the Fire Academy. And to do that, you're gonna have to be in great shape. Notice the gym behind me in my garage, because when I got into the fire service, I wasn't in that great of shape. But I managed to get in and I picked up a lot of healthy habits along the way. And I maintain those habits because you have to stay in good shape and stay strong to be a good firefighter. Let's talk about the gear. You gotta stay in great shape because the gear is pretty heavy. I'll have everything here today that you need to fight fire except for the air pack. Those have to stay on the trucks for the crews to use on shift. So they don't let me bring those home with me. But everything here, if you put all the gear on, you're gonna have about 50 to 60 extra pounds of weight on your body. And you're gonna be expected to work at 100% capacity while wearing all of this gear. So we'll start with the basics. We have our pants and our boots. They're put together this way for quick dress, which we'll talk about in a minute. Our gloves, of course. Our hood protects our head and ears. Our coats. And the gear has actually gotten a lot lighter over the years. When I first started, the gear was much heavier and not as well fitting, I guess you could say, especially for some smaller firefighters like myself. But now they custom make it and it's a lot lighter material. The technology has come a long way with the gear. The gear itself is made of layers. So if you unzip the inside of it, you'll see the 3 layers that we have. So you can imagine how warm this is during the summer. But side note, it's also very warm in the winter, which is a good thing. Next we have the face piece. And like I said, I don't have an air pack, but I do have a face piece and the regulator with the air comes through, because when the air is in the air pack is under a lot of pressure. So that pressure has to be reduced, and that's where that happens here. So you have to wear these. So a lot of people have trouble with claustrophobia. If they don't like to be closed up or have their face covered, this can be an issue. So this is sometimes things that you have to overcome when you become a firefighter. Last, we have the helmet. Nice hard helmet, protects your head. You can make different sizes, ratchet it in and out. Also has a strap to keep it on your head. Yet always make sure you're wearing that. Now that we've talked about all the different pieces of the gear, let's talk a little bit about what you'll do while you're in the Fire Academy. The first part of your training will be the part where you learn how to be a firefighter. You'll do live burns with real fire. You'll do climbing up and down ladders, bailing out of windows, dragging people around in a simulated rescue scenarios. There's lots of fun. Breaking doors open. It's all the fun stuff, right? All the stuff you see on TV, but not quite like what you see on TV. But you also have to do PT every morning, which is physical training. Every morning you'll come in, you'll be doing push-ups like you saw me doing earlier, running, squatting, climbing stairs, and initially you might be doing that in regular workout clothes, but eventually you're going to be doing all that stuff in your gear, so we make sure you're good and ready to be out there fighting the fires. The second part of your training will be EMT school, Emergency Medical Technician. This is where you learn how to render first aid and things like that to the public. We don't just respond to fires. A lot of people think the fire department, you ride on the big red fire truck, you just run fires. That's completely false. 80% of our calls are for medical emergencies, car wrecks, heart attacks, people passing out coronavirus as of right now. So you got to make sure you're well trained for fighting fires and for helping people who are sick or injured. Now that we've talked about what you do to become a firefighter, let's talk about what happens once you're done with your training and you're headed out to the station. Once you're in the station, you may think the hard part is over, that you're done learning and all you got to do is get on the truck and run the calls. But you couldn't be more wrong. The learning has just begun. The training and learning continues throughout your career. As you move through the ranks, you become driver, more advanced firefighters. You do specialty training for hazmat, technical rescue, swift water. There's a multitude of training courses that you can be a part of in the fire service. Once you've completed all the steps of being a firefighter, moving through and into driving the engine or truck, and you're done with that, then you have to start thinking about moving into positions of officers. So you have lieutenants, captains, and chief officers. Some departments have sergeants. It just depends on the rank structure of that department. But you have to think about, from the very beginning, being a leader, because that's what you're going to have to be throughout your career, and especially as a company officer. You have to learn and maintain your skill set as a firefighter and become a leader of the team. Let's talk about some other opportunities within the fire department that don't involve riding a fire truck. For instance, you have fire inspections. If you want to be a fire inspector, you go out to businesses and construction sites and you inspect them for fire safety violations. You have fire investigations where when a fire does happen, you'll be the one to go out and to try to determine the cause and origin of the fire. That's a very scientific job. So you might want to think about college majors in a scientific field. You also have public education, which is what I do right now. You go out to the schools and you go out to the daycares and the nursing homes and you talk to people and you make sure that they're safe. You help the residents put their smoke alarms in. There's a lot of fun jobs within the fire department for later in your career.
And done.
And that completes career day. Any questions?